Welcome. The incredibly simple Konnekt Videophone lets you speak face-to-face with your family and friends. The ringing sound, also known as the ringtone, is customized for you by Konnekt. Here are the available ringtone sounds to help you choose. The 1920s Australian phone ringtone is the Konnekt Videophone's default ringing sound. It's our all-time favourite. A beautiful, nostalgic jangle from a time when telephones were crafted from timber and metal rather than plastic, and incoming calls were announced using real bells rather than tiny piezoelectric speakers. It's very different to the noises produced by your other phones, so you're most unlikely to mix it up and run to answer the wrong telephone. The Australian muted tone is a Konnekt Videophone ringing sound that's easier on the ears and not as harsh. Unlike some of the other ringtones, you won't be shocked when someone calls. Although this sound is electronic, we can't help but imagine a shapely telephone from the 1960s or 1970s. We recommend this ringing sound to those with delicate ears or a sensitive disposition. The modern Australian phone ringtone is reminiscent of a 21st century Australian home telephone. The sound is electronic, friendly, and somewhat familiar. When we hear it tinkle, we are reminded of some of the newer home telephones available. We recommend this ringing sound to those who do not have a modern telephone at home because we would not want you to be confused about which phone to answer. The super clear electronic phone ringtone is crisp and modern. When we hear this jingle, we can't help but imagine a 15-year-old cordless home phone or mobile phone. We would suggest this ringing sound to those whose regular home telephone has a very elderly tenor so that there is no mistaking when the Konnekt Videophone rings. The business phone ringtone is swift, sharp, and has a business-like edge. There are 6 short rings that repeat that impart a sense of urgency. When we hear this sound, it feels as if we're in a professional's bureau. Try this ringing sound if you need to be properly alerted into answering, or if you miss your days working in an office. The harp ringtone is the sound of a harp being strummed slowly back and forth along its strings. The sound is melodic and soothing, but it repeats and isn't a melody, so there's little chance that you'll mistake it for a song on the radio or television. When we hear this sound, we imagine a musician warming up to play her harp at a concert. It might be a little too soft for most, but we suggest the harp ringtone for those who need a ringing sound that is completely distinct from the sound of a phone ringing, or those who don't want to be shocked by harsh tones. The modern US phone ringtone will sound a little familiar to those from North America or those who watch American television. There is a single long ring with an electronic timbre that repeats. When we hear this sound, we can't help but look around to see whether we've left the television on. It's quite different to the sound of most Australian phones. Try this ringtone if you'd like a sound that still sounds like a phone, but doesn't sound like your regular home phone. The 1920s US phone ringtone is a classic bell ring. Unlike the Australian 1920s phone, the 1920s US phone emits just a single extended bell tone that slowly repeats. When we hear this sound, we are reminded of a classic gangster movie. Consider this ringtone if you are nostalgic or pine for old TV classics. The standard Skype call ringing in tone is unique and unmistakable. Several electronic tones play in a repeated pattern that is not quite a melody, so there is no confusion about whether the phone is ringing or the radio has been turned on. When we hear this sound, we think of young people with the latest gadgets. Choose this sound if you are already familiar with Skype and like the way it sounds.